Welcome back to another episode of Moms Moving On. I'm so happy to have you with me today because I also have a good friend and actually one of our Moving On Method certified coaches. She's got such a powerful story. Her name is Caitlin Nugent, and she came into my stratosphere probably about 5 years ago at this point when she was at the
Yep.
very beginning of, oof, well, I'll let her tell her story. Caitlin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Better now.
Hi everyone. I'm Caitlin. I am a divorced mom of three. I have two children with my ex-husband, and then I have one baby boy. He is 1 year old with my new life partner. Since I have met Michelle, things have I have been on quite the roller coaster of a divorce journey.
You have, but important to point out like where you
Yeah.
started, and we'll get into all that, and the fact that you
Yeah.
just had a beautiful baby boy with your new life partner, and like things have totally come full circle for you.
Yes, they have. I'm so grateful. And first of all, thank you for having me today. I'm so honored to be on your
Oh
podcast.
my God,
For
it's a
everyone that
pleasure.
doesn't know, Michelle has been the light in my life since I first came across her. What was it, 2019 now, probably?
2019. Yeah,
Which is crazy.
damn, we old.
We old. Yeah,
We
we
old.
out here.
But you know what? We're making the most of it, our age and our
Yes.
wisdom, and we are like spreading the good word. But and I'm flattered when I hear that I have been such a light in your life because I think about what you went through and I'm like, holy shit, I don't know that I could have handled it with the same grace and class that
Oh,
you
thank
did.
you. Thank you. Yeah, for those that don't know, I went through a
Yeah, let's
pretty
spill it.
pretty public divorce. I was married to a man that worked for, well, he still does, works for Barstool Sports. And
For
there
those
was
of you who don't know,
infidelity. Yeah, go ahead.
or well, now you said
Yeah.
infidelity. We got to get right into that. But
Yeah.
Barstool is an online account, an online platform directed towards men, a little seedy,
hmm
can get a little raunchy. And these are young guys, good looking guys who made a lot of money fast. And then one of them had the fucking nerve to cheat on my beautiful friend, Caitlin.
He did. Yeah, he did. But I
Yeah.
will say, prior to that, I had, we had a really good life together. And we still were working on co parenting, which is why really I joined Michelle's network of coaches because I quickly realized after, this life shock of an affair that I needed to figure shit out so we could all get on the same page for our kids. And
Mhm.
that they became the focus for me. Like, obviously, I was doing a lot of my own self care and trying to figure out what went wrong and how to avoid something like this from happening and from trickling down to my kids, also because of there was the public aspect of it that we had. We were on page six. We had internet trolls coming after both of us. Everyone had an opinion on it. To me, it very quickly became okay, we need to figure out how to make this as good as possible on the kids. So
Right, which is, like you said, you were blindsided and shocked by the affair, but your first
yes.
thought was, let's protect the kids, and that's amazing.
I mean, I had two babies at the time. I had my girl, she's now almost 9, but she was 2 at the time, and I had a 4-month-old boy. So the affair was going on while I was pregnant with our second child. So in my head, we were really like this new young family building our life together. Of course, there are ups and downs that come along with having two young kids so quickly after marriage. But I wasn't on well, is there someone else part of this marriage that I don't know about? So this was a huge shock to me when it
I'm
when it came
sure. And,
down.
I'm sure so many women listening are like, yep, because the truth is, a lot of women who experience being cheated on, this infidelity happens in this pregnancy stage or when the children are very young. And it's like double whammy for you. Not only are you pregnant or trying to raise young children, you're now like your marriage went sideways. And it's probably the heaviest thing you can go through as a new mom or expectant mom. So, how did you? I mean, can we get into the dirty details? Like, how did you discover
Sure.
this?
Oh my gosh, I will never ever forget this night. And it's funny because all of like the barstool stoolies that have followed along our journey, our story, also remember this night. It was the bomb cyclone in New York. It was a huge snowstorm
Oh,
that came out
God.
of nowhere. It was like it was
Shitstorm in the
January.
sky, shitstorm in your
It
life.
it was literally, yeah, you could write the story. It was like, this huge massive snowstorm that came sort of out of the blue. It was the first week of January 2016. I will never ever forget it. 2017. Sorry. Getting my dates wrong.
Hmm.
And we were sitting down. We had just gotten the kids to sleep, and Kevin had called his mother and said goodnight to her, checked in on her. He's still to this day very, very close with his mom. So we had checked in on our family members, and then he went outside to shovel, and he came back in the house and was frantic, panicking that he lost his phone. But like a panic that was like, why are you so worried about this?
Yeah,
Because we've already checked in on our people. Like, we're all
right.
okay. The babies are sleeping. Like, now it's our time. Like, we get to sit down on the couch and watch a movie. And I just had this, like, like female intuition. I had this feeling like something was off. He was in such a panic that he lost this phone. And I was like, it's fine. We'll go to Apple tomorrow. It's not a big deal. We're going to be okay. We have my phone, whatever. And then he brought out his computer and he started like typing a lot on his computer, which is normal for him because he was a blogger. He
Right.
worked for Barstool. So again, I'm like, what are we blogging about? There are no sports on tonight. Like, what's going on? And he had used my phone before to like tweet. Like, if we're out, like he log into his Twitter from my phone and like and tweet. He had to always be on in some
Hmm.
respect. Um, so I went to bed. I was like, I have a feeling, and I snooped. I went in the Twitter account, and I was watching in real time the two of them go back and forth, telling how much
No.
they love each other. I can't wait to see you again. Like, I was laying in bed, just my world like completely crumbling. It was like that feeling of like, am I gonna throw up or cry or yell or throw something? I don't know. All of these feel, and then simultaneously, it's like my family. What do I do about my family? Like, this thing I once believed so strongly in is now maybe not so real.
Oh my
So
God. Well, kudos to you, Caitlin, for not committing a felony. I mean, because I have freaked out way more for way less. And so that is that in itself. I mean, hire Caitlin because she'll teach you how to not kill your cheating husband.
yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
that's wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So your babies are sleeping in the next room. You are
Mhm.
discovering this. Was he next to you or he was in the other room?
He was downstairs.
Okay.
So I I I watched it for a little, but it was like I couldn't. I had to confront him.
Hmm.
And I don't know, for anyone that's ever experienced infidelity or someone cheated on them or something similar. The first stage is immediately denial. So when I went downstairs and I started asking him, like, who is this girl? What is going on? He very quickly met me with, what, you're sleep. Why are you snooping? What's going on? Like, he couldn't
Why'd you
admit
catch
it.
me? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden, and this was years and years of me working through it with him, but a lot of it was like thrown back onto me. Like, I did this because of you. And I felt like it was happening in that moment. Like, well, you're a snooper. You shouldn't be going through my stuff. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who snoops. I'm like, well, I wouldn't be snooping if, it was
The
very much the back and
gaslighting, man.
forth.
The gaslighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why don't, yeah. So it was just a long night. It was talking through it. It started out with like, it was just a one-time kiss. She came to my show, and then it unraveled into like, oh, actually, this was like a 9-month relationship that they were just having on the side. Um, so we
Did you
went
know
stayed with this.
her?
No, she
Okay.
was, she was, she was a, they met on Twitter. It was like a cliche. I think she was a fan of his. And then that developed into something deeper. I remember asking him, because you asked all these questions, like everything's running through your mind, like, She was younger too. I'm like, how, what do you have in common with her? He's like, we like the Knicks and Drake. I was like, what? I was
What?
like, I was like, does she know how to take the garbage out? Does she know how to do your laundry? Like, does she know how to change a dirty diaper? Like, what are you two? You two are gonna go dance at a
You
Knicks game?
guys, that
What?
is the recipe for a happy relationship. You have to like the
Yeah.
same basketball team and the same
Yeah.
singer. That's it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Also, I mean, we us moms know, like, I'm 4 months postpartum. Like, I could barely like brush my hair at this point. And I'm like, if you want to go like dance at an X game, like just go. I can't even try to match that at this
Right.
stage of my
Right.
life.
Right.
Like, we're
It
just
just
not, we're on different pages.
And it speaks to, I mean, there are reasons why men cheat when women are in this pregnancy and postpartum stage. And it all boils down to, I need more attention. Nobody's making me feel special. And it is, it's a tale as old as time, but I'm so sorry you had to go through it. But I know, I mean, I remember when you told me, and at this time, he was like out there talking shit, like bragging almost about what he had done and what situation he landed himself in. You were just so like, I don't know, not above it, because I know it was hurting you, but you handled yourself with such grace. Like, is that just
Thank
who
you
you
for
are as
saying
a
that.
person?
Well, I will say I mean, I think everyone knows I did put him on blast. I put it on my Instagram account when it first happened. And this everyone still to this day says, "Why did you do that? Why did you make this public? That's not good for the kids." I have so many reasons for why I did it. Was it the best move? I don't know, but I also know that doing that is what got me to where I am today because I was able to see his true reaction. Like I had I not made it public, he may have tried to save the marriage, to save face. I don't know. But anyway, I did. I put it on blast. I said,
What'd you say?
oh my gosh. Well, so he had this we had been together for almost 10 years at this point. So all of his fans had watched us, start dating and move in together and get married and have kid number one, have kid number two. Like he referred to me as the roommate. I had my own like character within his life, his public persona. He had a podcast called The Podfathers at the time where he was talking about, like being a dad in the burbs and what that was like. So he had like millennial dudes that were growing up with him and following him. So I felt like I was like, they need to know too that this isn't as real as it seems, it's not as relatable on if you're listening to the Podfathers, if you know that this guy is actually out like, stepping out on his wife. So I
Yeah.
felt like it was a lot of anger in the moment. So I did. I posted like one of those like if I've Z-list celeb posts of like we're going through a hard time, like respect my privacy. Kevin has been cheating on me. And it
C-list.
blew up. Like we had page six reporters in our yard. We had people like going to like after like standing outside the Barstool headquarters in the city. Dave Portnoy put out a video.
What
Kevin's
did Dave
host put out
say?
video. Dave, uh, Dave said, like, I don't know all the details. Caitlin and Kevin's dirty laundry's out there, but I'm just gonna say, like, it doesn't look good for Kevin, and I hope Caitlin and the kids are okay. And to this day, I
Oh.
respect Dave even more for that. Like, he was very level-headed about it. He was like, this just doesn't look good. Like, yes, Kevin is my colleague and friend, but this is a pretty shitty scenario. So let's call it what it is.
Well, I gotta say, at the time that you and I first started, I couldn't stand Dave Portnoy, and I didn't know who your husband was, because I think Dave is more of like the front-facing guy to anyone who's not fully immersed in the barstool world, and I really couldn't stand him. And there have been like times in in this last year, I'm like, wow, he's actually human. Good for him. So I love
Yeah.
hearing this. Good for you,
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. No, I was it was just nice, validate and again, like anyone who's gone through this is why I have really dedicated my coaching to helping people get through infidelity because anyone that's going through it, you question your sense of reality. Like I
Hmm.
remember all of the time I was like, wait, was that real? Like, was he happy in the moment? Am I really this bad? Am I you go through all of these emotions and I felt like having like a little bit of validation from the outside world of being like, you're not crazy. Like, this actually is a really terrible thing. And it's not. the way that it should have been handled had he really been that unhappy in a marriage. It did help. And I think that's important because it's weird because you're so lonely, like, it's so quiet, like, but it's also so loud because you have so many people
Yeah,
chiming in and saying,
that's such a
like,
powerful thing. Yeah.
I mean, even friends and family, like, "Drag him, get rid of him, like, he's terrible." I'm like, "This is a man that for better or for worse, we share 2 children and we need to figure this out." So, you have so much outside noise, but you just feel so lonely on the inside. So, but it was like having so many people rally around me, and it was so helpful.
I'm so glad you had that. And also, you did the work right away trying to find ways to better yourself so you could be a better parent. You showed up for our workshops and did all of the
Yes.
things. But I'm wondering, was there ever a moment between you and your ex? Because I know a lot of people, a lot of women who feel wronged by their ex spouse feel like they need to reach this sense of closure or they wait for some apology that may never come, or they feel
Yes.
entitled to maybe more time with the kids or whatever it is. Did you ever
Mhm.
get to a place with him where you felt like he acknowledged what he did enough for you to be able to move on fully? Or you didn't need that?
No, I searched I felt like I needed that, and I felt like I needed the closure, and I but we kept going up and down, and this is normal too. Like, should we save it? Should we go to couples counseling? No, this is never gonna we can never come back from this. He did do, the internet apology, but I didn't feel like it was super
Genuine.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, who's he doing that apology
That
for? His
wasn't for
fan for
you.
me. Yeah, right. So I think I searched for it. I got it, in bits and pieces along the way. Do I really fully think he ever sat down and said and owned it and said this wasn't the right move? No, because there's been like excuses of maybe I messed up, but like we're all in a better place now because of it. So whatever. So
Mhm.
which is true, but you always wish that you had some sort of closure. I will say I need to find the closure within myself. I wasn't going to get it from him. And this is the big part of the coaching
This is
process.
this is the biggest. I mean, this if there's anything more helpful in this episode, there won't be, because this is
Yeah,
so important to recognize that, like, someone doing you wrong, the pain and the feeling does not go away by anything they can say to, try and forgive themselves or try and get you to forgive them. But waiting for an apology or some sort of closure that'll never come is such a waste of time.
it's such a waste of time. And that comes into play through co-parenting in general. Like, you can't control what the co-parent is going to do. So you need to figure out how you're going to adapt and move on in spite of that. You're not going to get the apology. You're not always going to get them to do what you want. Like, it wasn't happening in the marriage. It's certainly not going to happen in, high conflict divorce. So that was the piece for me once I finally realized I need to just figure this out on my own. I need to like put in the work for self-care. I need to put in the work for the kids. And I felt but prior to meeting you, there was a gap there. Like, I felt like there was my lawyers and then there was my therapist, but there really wasn't someone who was like, here's how to do a parenting plan and here's how to, talk to your ex when he sends that nasty text. Like, I felt like I overexceeded the amount that I could go to my friends and be like, "Can you believe he said this?" It's
Yeah.
like, you can't
Yeah.
do that your entire life. Like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
gotta figure it out on your own.
right. And that's exactly what a coach is. It's really an intermediary. Like, you're not the
Yeah,
therapist and you're not the lawyer, but you are someone who can help in real time. Like all of the other
right,
things, like a therapist, a good therapist is not going to tell you what to do.
right,
And a
right.
good coach won't either, but a coach will help you recognize what steps you need to take when.
Exactly.
So, okay, so now you've obviously come through this like a freaking champ. Um, you should have your own like bar stool. We could think of a good name for that.
Oh
We'll do
my
that later.
gosh.
But
Yeah.
how do you, I mean, I'm sure you hear from so many women who tell you stories that feel just like your own. How are you
Yes.
able to, because a big part of the coaching process is separating your own stuff from the
Mhm.
person's story in front of you. How do you do that? And like, what are your main goals in helping a client through dealing with infidelity?
My main goal, first of all, the answer isn't always divorce. it was in my particular case, but there are marriages that survive infidelity and they can make you stronger and, you know, point high, like kind of speed along, fast forward things that may have been wrong in your marriage that, you know, you can address in real time. I will say, like, I want to hear what are their goals? What are their priorities? Is it self-care? Is it learning how to speak to your current husband that you might be separating from? Is it starting the legal process so I can help you like try to figure out what lawyers the right lawyer for you? I mean, I this is also embarrassing. When I first went through it, my parents had gotten divorced 5 years prior. So Kevin was around through like, they got divorced in my adulthood. And my mom recommended a lawyer. She was like, she was like, use my lawyer. I was like, oh, cool. The 2-for-1 special for, the divorce
My God.
lawyer. Like, so
Oh.
there's just so many things that like need to happen when you're in that like first initial stage of like, oh my gosh, I'm experiencing infidelity. Now what? And it's like putting pen to paper, talking this through with them. Like, what are your priorities? Is it just getting out of bed and taking care of the kids and making sure you get from wake up to bedtime? Because we'll start there. Like, let's start
Mhm.
small. I
Mhm.
remember that feeling of like, I would just count down until 7 p.m. when I could finally close my eyes in the beginning because it felt so overwhelming.
I remember
Um,
that feeling too. Do you ever
yeah,
feel
like,
like and I don't stay stuck on this feeling because I really hate, like, living in the past, but I always think about Bella was 2 when we separated, and there were
mhm.
so much of that time as a solo parent where I was just like, "Make it go more quickly. Please make it go more quickly." And looking back, I'm like, "God damn it. I wish I could get
I
that time
know.
back."
Totally.
Yeah.
I think of that all the and now, especially, we're in much better places in our lives. I it's like I feel like I missed a few years, especially
Yeah.
my little guy, like he was 4 months old. So I'm like, this poor baby, like, back and forth between houses. But it's again, like we realize that and now we just cherish every moment even more. They're still young. We can focus on the now because that's
And
all we can
so,
control.
um, Kevin was with this fan that he loved. Was she, like, seeing your kids when he was, like, taking them for his time? How is that working?
No.
Okay, good.
Um,
How'd you
well, I
prevent that?
actually put it in the parenting plan. Um, yeah. Well, no, without saying too much, they didn't have the relationship to me seemed like very high highs and very low lows. So when the lows were in place, it was a little bit scary. I was like, I don't know that I trust this individual around my kids. The kids are still very young. Like if this is a fun fling that's happening on the side, great, but let's not bring my kids into that. Um, and then we just were very purposeful in the parenting plan in saying, because the kids were young, but we were also only 32. So I remember my lawyer sitting down and saying, like, you need to be realistic. You both will probably remarry. You're going to be dating other people. Like, let's call it what it is. We need to cover ourselves. So we
Yeah.
were very purposeful in saying, like, the kids can only meet someone if they've been in a relationship for X amount of months. And it was just really making sure we developed like very clear language around that. Cause I knew he was growing and his fame was increasing and he was getting a lot more interest from the ladies from the outside, especially as a single dad. So I was like, like mom alarm went off and I was like, we need to just button this up because I can't just have them meeting like every girl that's gonna come into his life now.
Yeah, that was wise. And I think, in most moms always will come to me and say, I want to put something in the parenting plan to specify that he can't bring anyone around the children. I don't necessarily always agree with that. In
Right.
situations like these, obviously, you already knew what you were dealing with. A lot of times, people want to do this preemptively, even if the other person hasn't met someone, just out of this fear of the kids having to meet
Mhm.
someone else. So, please, if you're listening, don't take this as a what to do for your parenting
Yeah.
plan. Everything is so different based on your own personal situation.
And I will say he it was just an ask of mine and he agreed to it. So I think even he knew deep down that this relationship wasn't going to be one that he wanted around the children.
Hmm.
Had he said no and said, "This is the love of my life," it would have been a different story. This was just very specific to our our case. Because right now we're both in other relationships, very happy, and the kids are, back and forth between the two houses and have met both sides of the other partner's, relationship. So, it would have never been a case where I said like absolutely not, no other women around, my kids at that age.
Right, right. Okay. Well, I mean, listen, I have applauded you offline for years. I have watched you and rooted for you as well. Like just seeing your passion and helping people through this, like this truly is one of the worst times in a person's life is when they are not only blindsided, but there is another person and the babies are young and the person you're kissing goodnight has a whole nother life. Like I really
Yeah.
I can't think of anything worse. And so the fact that you are putting yourself out there to help people with the passion that you're doing, it makes me so proud of you and so grateful
Thank
for
you.
like the universe of women out there who get to experience help on such a calm and sophisticated mindset like that because that's really what you bring. So for
You.
anyone who's listening who literally just had this same bomb dropped on them, what would you tell them?
I'm gonna say something that I always like rolled my eyes at when I would hear it. It is going to be okay. And I know that sounds so simple, but you have it in you and you have the resources and you have the community that can help you get through this. Also, and this took me a long time to realize, infidelity and an affair is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of
Woo,
the other person.
preach.
So, yeah, do not, whatever you're feeling, whatever your and self-critical thoughts are going through your head, stop them. They're natural, of course, but this is not what this outcome is not because of you. It is just, I'm so sorry it's happening to you, but I promise you you'll get to the other side of it.
Right, it's not you, it's him, baby girl, that's true.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's great. So where can people find you if they want to work with you, because I know people are probably already googling your name?
Oh yeah. My Instagram handle is Dignity and Divorce. So come find me on the IG and my Gmail too, dignity and divorce at gmail.com. Here to help infidelity, co-parenting with a high conflict ex, and also blended families. So the spectrum ranges. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely another conversation I think we need to have because
mhm.
not only do you have a blended family, but you had to blend while also dealing with this person in the background, which I know was not easy. So I guess we'll have to have a part two, everyone.
Yes, I would love to.
Awesome. Caitlin, thank you so much for being here. And for anybody listening, I want you to think about in your worst moments with this person, that mindset that Caitlin talked about of just like making sure the kids are okay. Because truthfully, as adults, even when we're at our most hurt and vulnerable, we can get through it and move on. The kids need a little extra help. So think of her, reach out, do all of those things,
Yes,
and we'll see you
please.
next time on Mom's Moving On.
Thanks, Michelle.